Good afternoon, everyone. It's your English class, and today we are going to study our second chapter, subject and predicate. So let's start. Chapter 2, subject and predicate. Firstly, let's understand about subject, right? Subject and predicate. A person or thing that is being talked about in a sentence is called a subject. Predicate, a part of sentence which has the verb and which tells us what the subject is called predicate. Why? Sorry, we study in the Century School. So dear students, first of all, we have to understand subject and then we will understand about predicate. So in a sentence, majorly about what or whom we talk, that part is called subject. And what we talk about subject, that part is called predicate. You can understand this point in Hindi too. सेंटेंस में जिसके बारे में हम बात करते हैं मुख्य रूप से उसे सब्जेक्ट बोलते हैं और जो बात करते हैं सब्जेक्ट के बारे में that part is called predicate. Suppose I say that a fan is going on. A fan is going on. So basically I am talking about a fan in this sentence. So a fan is subject. And what I'm talking about the fan means is going on. This part is called predicate. Again, understand about whom and what we talk in a sentence that is called subject, and what we say about subject that is called predicate. And see this sentence, we study in the Century School. So we are talking about we word, right? So we is subject of this sentence and rest of part means study in the Century School. This part is called predicate, right? Next point. Subject we, I have told you, predicate study in the Century School. Next sentence, this story is very interesting. This story is very interesting. So we are talking about in this sentence, this story. So this story is subject of this sentence and is very interesting. This part is called predicate, right? Subject, this story, and predicate is very interesting. Clear? So dear student, on the behalf of this understanding, one exercise was left like type of sentences. No, like see the sentence. When do you study? When do you study? So that's the interrogative sentence. So subject is you because we are talking about you, and rest of part means like predicate means when and you study. Sorry, you is not part of this. You will not come. Do study will come here. When do comma study? You will not come by mistake. It was written. So you is subject and rest of part is predicate. And now, dear students, next sentence you have to tell me. You need to raise your hand. I'll give you chance. Raise your hand if you can if you can tell the answer of this question. Sentences, you always help me. You always help me. What is the subject in this sentence and what is the predicate in this sentence? Ansh is there. Ansh will try to let us know. Ansh, please tell me what is the answer of this. Ansh.
Sir, you
You is, yes, very good.
always help me.
You is subject and always help me predicate in this sentence. Yes, Ansh, your answer is absolutely right. Very good. So dear students, you can see the answer. You is subject and predicate always help me. Or in this way, please down your hand. Ansh, please, after giving your answer, you need to down your hand. Next sentence is that. Tell me something about yourself. Tell me something about yourself. So this is an imperative sentence. I have written here imperative. So please tell me about this sentence. What is subject and what is predicate? Oh, let me see. Vivek is there. Nikunj is there. Vivek, you please tell me. Vivek, please you tell me what is subject in this
Sir,
sentence.
tell me.
Tell me
Sir,
what.
tell me.
Vivek, your voice is not clear. Please say once again. Vivek, you are not audible. Okay, Let's ask from Nikunj. Nikunj, you please tell me. This sentence is quite tricky. So please tell me what is subject in this sentence. Tell me something about yourself. This is an imperative sentence.
Sir, yourself subject, tell me something about predicate.
No, Nikunj, that is the wrong answer, but you have tried very well. So I tell you why yourself is not subject in this. So dear students, this is an imperative sentence. Imperative sentence, those sentences in which we command to someone, we request to someone to do something. So those sentences are called imperative sentences, right? In imperative sentences, subject is always you. In imperative sentences, subject is always you. That is not written or spoken. That is hidden. जो imperative sentences होते हैं, उनमें subject हमेशा you होता है. वो लिखा या बोला नहीं जाता. But that is always you. So subject is you, that is not written because it is an imperative sentence. And rest of part means complete parts. Tell me something about yourself. This part is predicate. You can see the answer. This all the sentences are like imperative. Suppose I say that come here, sit down, stand up, go there, please get a glass of water. These all the sentences are imperative sentences. In these all the sentences, subject is always you, right? Fourth sentence, please down your hand, and if you know the answer, then please keep raise your hand. What a great singer Tansen was. Sentence is exclamatory. What a great singer Tansen was. What is subject in this sentence? Nikunj, again try, please. Nikunj, yes, please. Can you tell me what is subject in this sentence?
Sir, Tansen was subject. What a great singer was predicate.
Yes, Tansen is subject and what a great singer, comma, was. This part is called predicate. Yes, right answer. Subject Tansen and predicate what a great singer, comma, was. This part is called predicate. Yes, right answer. Now please down your hand. Next sentence, who are you? Who are you? So please tell me what is subject in this sentence. Who are you? Akshita, please you tell me. Akshita, please tell me what is subject in this sentence. Who are you?
Sir, you.
You is subject and what is predicate?
Sir, who are?
Yes, rest of part is predicate, means subject is you and rest of part is predicate. Very good. Right answer. Next sentence, you haven't done your work. You haven't done your work. So what is subject in this sentence? Raise your hand if you can tell me. Anshuman, please come. Anshuman, yes, what is subject in this sentence? Anshuman, yes, please tell me. Anshuman, beta, what is subject in this sentence? Can you tell?
You.
Yeah, you is subject and rest of part means haven't done your work. This part is called predicate in this. Yes, right answer. Good. Next sentence. Subject is you, predicate haven't you done. Haven't you done your work? Haven't you done your work? Previous sentence was declarative, but this sentence is interrogative. So please tell me what is subject in this sentence. Sai Pratik. Sai Pratik, you please tell me. Sai Pratik.
Sir, you is subject
Yes, you
and
is subject.
haven't
Haven't
done your
done
work
your
is
work. This
predicate.
part is called predicate. Yes, right answer. Sai, your answer is absolutely right. Good. So you can see the
Thank
answer.
you, sir.
Subject is you. Welcome. Predicate haven't done your work. Okay. So one more exercise is there. Tell me, like, who can give me the answer of this exercise? First sentence is that the Earth's land was once made up of a single huge continent. So underline the subject in the following sentence. You just tell me the subject. What is subject? Only subject you have to tell me in the first sentence. Raise your hand if you can tell me the answer. Vanshika, please come forward. Vanshika Goyal, please come forward and tell me what is the subject in first sentence. Vanshika, unmute yourself. Vanshika, dear students, if you think that I can't give the answer, then please don't raise your hand. Raise your hand if you want to give your answer. Your answer is right or wrong, it doesn't matter, but you should try. Okay, let's come to the next participant. Manishita. Manishita, please come forward. You please tell me what is subject in first sentence.
The earth.
The earth, land. This part is subject. Okay. Yes, your answer is approximate right. So the earth, land, this part is subject because we are talking about this part, right? So that's why this part means the earth, land, this part is subject. Good. Come on, the next sentence. Next sentence is that one big deep ocean covered the rest of the planet. Please tell me what is subject in this sentence. Raise your hand if you think that you can't give the answer, then please down your hand. Vivek Man, please tell me.
सर डीप ओशियन सब्जेक्ट है.
Yes, one big deep ocean. This part is subject. Okay. Third sentence. How were so many oceans and seas formed? How were so many oceans and seas formed? So, what is subject in this sentence? Let me see who can give me the answer. Ahem, you please come. Ahem, come forward. Unmute yourself.
Sir, ocean and sea.
Yes, oceans and seas, like our complete subject is so many oceans and seas, because we are talking about so many oceans and seas in this sentence. That's why these words are called subject. Right answer, I am your answer is right. Okay, come on the fourth question. Tell me the story of their creation. Tell me the story of their creation. This part, this sentence is also an imperative sentence. Remember this, I am saying an imperative sentence. So I told you something about the imperative sentences. So please tell me what is subject in sentence number 4. Let me see, many participants have raised their hand. Anshuman, you please come. Anshuman, please tell me what is subject in sentence number 4. Anshuman, can you tell me? Okay. Vansh, you please tell me what is subject in sentence number 4. It's a little.
The story of their creation.
No, that is not. Something else. I told you something about an imperative sentence. Akshita, you please tell me what is in subject in fourth sentence.
Sir, you.
Yes, very good. You is not there, but you is subject because in imperative sentences, you is not written or you is not spoken, but subject is always listener, and listener is always, we know that you. So in the fourth sentence, subject is you. Very good. You have given the right answer. Come on, the sentence number 5. The original land mass split itself into large pieces. The original land mass split itself up into large pieces. So what is subject in this sentence? Can you tell me? Ayush, Sandhu, Ayush, please come forward. Tell me what is subject in sentence number 5.
The grains and Landmass.
Yeah, the original landmass, this part is subject because we are talking about this part. Yes, Ayush, your answer is absolutely right. Now look at the sentence number 5. So if sentence number 6, these pieces gradually moved further apart. These pieces gradually moved further apart. So what is subject in this sentence? Sentence number 6. Lucky and Lavisha, you please tell me. You have raised your hand. Okay. Vanshika, please you tell me. Sentence number 6. These pieces, what is subject in this sentence? Ahem, you please tell me.
Sir, these pieces.
Yes, these pieces, because we are talking about these pieces. Yes, very good. Right answer. Sentence number 7. Their movement created the oceans and the continents. Their movement created the oceans and the continent. What is subject in sentence number 7? Dear students, if you think that you do not want to give the answer of the question, so please don't raise your hand. Down your hand if you do not want to give the answer. Lavisha, you please tell me. Lavisha, you please tell me what is the subject in sentence number 7?
Ocean and the continents.
No, their movement. This part is subject because we are talking about this part. Remember this about what we talk in a sentence, that is called subject, right? In sentence number 8, on a small table near my bed is laying an encyclopedia. On a small table near my bed is laying an encyclopedia. What is subject in this sentence? This sentence is all like also very tricky. First part of this sentence is not subject. Some hints I can give you. Manishita, please you tell me. Manishita, please tell me. You have raised your hand.
On a small table.
No, beta, this part is not subject. Subject is an encyclopedia. An encyclopedia because we are talking about encyclopedia. That's why this part is called subject. Sentence number 9. Page 163 of this book gives all the details. Page 163 of this book gives all the details. What is subject in this sentence? Sentence number 9. Try to give me the answer. Anshuman, you please tell me. Anshuman, please tell me what can be the answer of this. Okay, so I tell you the answer. Answer is page 163 of this book. So this part is called subject. And now please come on the sentence number 10. What is an interesting story you have told me? That's an exclamatory sentence. In this sentence, you is subject. You is subject. So dear students, now please down your hand. Your exercise is completed. So you will notice one thing in all the sentences. First part of sentence is always is not always subject. We have to see the thing about which part we are talking in the sentence. So that part is called subject, right? Now please come on the next page. Chapter 3. We are talking about the next chapter. In this we are going to study about nouns, right? So let's talk about them. Parts of speech. So dear students, first of all, we will understand what are the parts of speech. So then we will understand about the nouns, right? So parts of speech are 8, which are called first noun, then pronoun, and then adjective, then verb, then adverb, then preposition, then conjunction, then interjection. So these are called the parts of speech. So in simple words, dear student, you can understand whatever we say in Hindi or in English, or whatever we write in Hindi or in English. So we use words. So those words are divided into 8 types, right? So these are the types of words, and these are the types of words according to their uses, not according to their formation. Some words are nouns, some words are pronouns, some words are adjectives, some words are verbs, some words are adverb, preposition, conjunction, interjection. They are because of their uses, not like formation. So whatever we say in Hindi or English, or whatever we write in Hindi or English, so we use 8 types of words. So in the 8 types of words, first of all, we are going to understand about noun, right? So let's talk about nouns. Nouns. A noun is the name of a person, place, thing, animal, quality, or action. Means simple words, we can understand that N for noun and N for name. Means everything has a name. So name is called a noun. And it can be name of any person, any place, any thing, any animal, any quality, any actions. Right? So understand these points. Person is like Mohit, Rohit, Ram, Shyam, etc. If you say these words, so these are the nouns. Place like Gronda, Karnal, Panipat, India. These are the names of places. So they are also noun. Thing like a pen, paper, car, bike, mobile, etc. So these things are also noun. Means names of the things, right? Next, animals like cat, dog, horse, cow, tiger. These all words are nouns because these are the names of the animals. Quality like bravery, honesty, timidity, cleverness. These words are the names of the quality. So these words are called noun. Action like laughter, like play, like writing, like scolding. These all the words are called noun. So in simple words, we can understand noun is a name of anything, right? Types of nouns. Let's talk about types of noun. So there are 4 types of noun. First is proper noun, second is common noun, third is abstract noun, and fourth is collective noun. Proper, common, abstract, and collective. So 4 types of nouns are there. So let's talk about proper noun. A noun which names a particular person, place, thing, or animal, that is called proper noun. For example, Mohit, Sonia, Karnal, India, Ganga, the Century School, etc. So these words are called proper noun. Common noun, like a noun which names a common person, place, thing, or animal, those are called the common noun, like boy, girl, city, country, river, school, etc. So dear students, in simple words, we can understand when we talk about any particular name or any proper name, so those names are called proper nouns. But when we talk about common name, so those names are called common nouns. Suppose I say that boy, so it can be any boy. To every boy, we can say boy. But if I say boy, common noun, but I say Mohit, Mohit is proper noun, right? If I say girl, it can be any girl. So girl is common noun, but if I say particular name, Sonia, so that is proper noun. If I say city, Karnal is also city, Panipat is also city, Gronda is also city. So city is common noun. But if I say Karnal city or Gronda city or Panipat city, that's a particular name, that's a proper name, right? If I say country, it can be any country. Country can be any like name of any country. Means like it can be any country. Pakistan is also country, India is also country, China is also country. So if I say country, that is common noun. But if I say India country, or if I say India, so that is proper noun. If I say river, see river, like we say like 2 rivers, like we can say the river of any river. But if I say Ganga, so that is the name of particular river, right? If I say school, so school is common noun, but if I say the Century School, so that is a proper noun. And one thing more you can observe in the proper nouns, Whenever we write proper nouns, so first letter we always write capital. Mohit, Sonia, Kanal, India, Ganga, Da, Century School. So first letter of these, all the words are in capital form. So proper noun we always write in capital form, means first letter we always write in capital form. Okay. Now let's talk about abstract noun. An abstract noun is the name of quality, feeling, or idea which do not exist physically so that we can't touch them, like love, beauty, truth, anger, height, knowledge, etc. So, dear students, in the world, some things are there which do not have any physical existence, which do not have any physical shape. So, those things are called abstract noun, right? You can see your mother, and those things can't be touched, and those things can't be seen. You can see your mother, right? So mother is not an abstract noun, but you can't see the love of your mother. You can't touch the love of your mother. You can't see the love of your mother. So love is abstract noun. You can see a beautiful girl, a beautiful person, but you can't see the beauty. So if I say beauty, that is a noun, but that is abstract noun because there is no physical existence in the world of beauty. Okay. If I say truth, so that's also abstract noun. If I say anger, I can see an angry man, but I can't see the anger. There is no any physical existence. कोई शारीरिक रूप नहीं होता abstract noun का, right? If I say man or if I say angry man, so there is a physical existence of that angry man. But if I say anger means gussa, no physical existence. Height, that's also abstract noun. Knowledge. If I say book, book is not abstract noun because book has a particular shape, book has physical existence in the world. But if I say knowledge, information, so these words don't have any physical existence. That's why these words are called abstract nouns, right? Next, collective noun. Collective nouns. A collective noun is a name of a group of persons or things, right? Like whenever we talk about a group of something, this group can be of persons or things, like army. So in army, like army, we say a group of soldiers. So when many soldiers are there, so to a group of soldiers we can say army. Class, a group of students. Team, a group of players. Bunch, a group of keys. So whenever we talk about a group of something, so that noun is called collective noun, right? State the types of the given noun. So dear students, let's do this exercise. Some words are here. You need to tell me what is the type of that noun. So it can be common, it can be proper, it can be collective, it can be abstract. Common, proper, abstract, collective. Right? Collective means a name of group. Common means name of common thing. Proper means name of proper thing. And abstract means which do not exist in the world physically. That is called abstract noun. Okay? Let's do this exercise. First, prime minister. If I say prime minister, so prime minister is, what is that? Common, proper, or abstract or collective? Please tell me, raise your hand if you can tell me. If I say prime minister, what is the type of this prime minister word? Sorry. Ansh, you please tell me. Ansh, please tell me.
Common noun.
Yes, very good. Common noun, because we are not talking about any particular prime ministers. Just we are saying the prime minister. It can be prime minister of India, Pakistan, or any other country, right? So that is a common noun. Next, if I say Narendra Modi, Narendra Modi. So what is the type of noun? So please raise your hand. Lavisha, you please tell me. Lavisha, please tell me. What is the type
Proper
of
noun.
Yes, proper noun. Yes, very good. Right answer, because we are talking about a particular persons. No one is like that. So that is proper noun. Okay. Third, if I say village, if I say village, so what is the type? What is the type of village noun? Now let me see. Ahem, you please tell. No, sorry. Vivek, you please tell me. Vivek, you please tell me.
Sir, common noun.
Common noun, because village, it can be any village. right? So that is a common noun. Yes, right answer. Fourth, if I say Barsat village, if I say Barsat village, that is a common, proper, abstract, or or like collective. Nikunj, you please tell me. If I say Barsat village, what is the type of
Sir, proper
yes,
noun.
yes, proper noun. Yes, right. Very good. Good answer. Because we are talking about a particular village. That's why it's a proper noun. Next, if I say knowledge, if I say knowledge, so what is the type of this word? Common, proper, abstract, or collective? Manishita, you please tell me. Manishita, please you tell me.
Abstract noun.
Yes, abstract noun, because there is no physical existence of knowledge. We can't see the knowledge, we can't touch the knowledge, but we can feel that. So that's why this is abstract noun. Good, right answer. If I say happiness, if I say happiness, so what is happiness? Common, proper, collective, or abstract? Raise your hand. Ahem, you please tell me. If I say happiness, sorry. Ahem, once again, please tell me.
Sir, common noun.
No, that's not common noun. That is abstract noun, because there is a no physical existence. जिस चीज की कोई शारीरिक रूप नहीं होता, जिस चीज का कोई दुनिया में एग्जिस्टेंस नहीं होता, फिजिकल एग्जिस्टेंस नहीं होता, राइट? मैं अगर मैं बुक बोलता हूँ तो बुक का एक फिजिकल एग्जिस्टेंस होता है इस दुनिया में, बट मैं बोलता हूँ कि नॉलेज कोई एग्जिस्टेंस नहीं होता। अगर मैं बोलता हूँ हैप्पी पर्सन, तो पर्सन का एग्जिस्टेंस होता है दुनिया में, बट अगर मैं कहता हूँ हैप्पीनेस, तो कोई फिजिकल एग्जिस्टेंस नहीं है उसका, राइट? दैट्स व्हाई दैट इज एब्स्ट्रैक्ट नाउन, right? Ahem. Next, if I say staff, like school staff, so what is that? What is the type of this noun? If I say staff, what is the type of this? Common, proper, abstract, or collective? Who will tell me? Let me see. Sai Pratik, you please tell me. Sai Pratik, if I say staff, what is the type of this?
Sir, collective noun.
This collective noun, because it's a group name, right?
Yes.
So that is called collective noun. Yes, right. Right. Very good.
Thank you, sir.
Next, please tell me. So this is called, sorry, 8th number. This is called material noun. This was not taught in your chapter, so that's why I'm just leaving. Sentence means word number 8. Tell me about word number 9. So what is the type of this? Word number 9, information. Who will tell me? Let me see. Ansh, you please tell me. If I say information, what is the type of this word?
Abstract noun.
Yes, abstract noun, because there is no physical existence. Good, you are giving the right answers. Very good. If I say mobile, if I say mobile, Sai Pratik, you tell me please. No, many are there. Let me go there. Lavisha, you please tell me. What is the type of mobile?
Sir, common noun.
Yes, common noun. Yes, it's a not name of particular thing, so that is a common noun, not proper. Okay. Next, if I say cat, if I say cat, is it common, proper, collective, or abstract? Sai Pratik, you tell me. Okay, Nikunj, you please tell me. Yes, common noun. Cat is common noun, right? Next, tree. If I say tree, Nikunj, you tell me. If I say tree, that is common, proper, abstract, or material? Okay, Lavisha, you tell me please.
Sir, common noun.
Noun.
Yes, common noun. You both have given the right answers. Common noun, yes. Next, if I say the Century School, if I say the Century School, What is that? Common, proper, abstract, or material? Or sorry, collective? Who will tell me? Let me see. Let me see. Ansh, you tell me, please. Ansh, please tell me. If I say the Century School,
Sir, proper noun.
yes, proper noun, because we are talking about a particular school. That is Century School means that is proper noun. If I say school, if I say only this word school, so is that common, proper, abstract, or collective? Vivek, you tell me, please. Vivek, Man, please tell me.
Sir, common noun.
Yes, common noun. Yes, very good. You have given the right answer. So, dear students, in this way, we have to do practice, and in the next class, we will read about some collective nouns. So, it's enough for today's class. Now, if you want to ask any question, then you can ask. Otherwise,